People wonder and people ask, is the freedom of speech in the UK under attack?
It's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. It's your boy again, Shady, the one and only. And guys, we are back, guys. It's been a tough couple of weeks for all of us living in the UK. You guys know it. And a question that has been asked lately, and something people have been really concerned about, is the freedom of expression in the UK. People wonder and people ask, is the freedom of speech in the UK under attack? So today, guys, we are going to talk about what the freedom of expression is. So if you go on X, called Twitter, and you search freedom of expression UK, you see all these posts here about freedom of expression. And there's this particular one by Ed. It says UK government is supercharging its assault on free speech both within the UK and globally. And I'm sure this is not news to you that the UK Police Commissioner threatens to extradite and jail US citizens. So here it says, one key aspect that makes this apparent crackdown on social media particularly shocking to critics is that the British government is threatening to extradite American citizens from the US to be jailed in the UK for violating their rules about political speech online. Now the question is, what is this freedom of speech? And is it really under attack, guys? I'm not going to recite the law, guys. We are going to read it for ourselves, okay? So if you go on this site, the equalityhumanrights.com, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it says, what countries does this apply to? England, Scotland, and Wales. All right, it says Article 10 protects your right to hold your own opinions. So you have your right to hold your own opinions. But guys, there are restrictions to the right to freedom of expression. So everything needs to be monitored and balanced, right? Okay, we're going to check what the law says, all right? So this text is taken directly from the Human Rights Act. So we are going to go straight to the site and check it. All right, no hearsay. This is legislation.gov.uk. All right, that's the website here. So if you scroll down, here we have the right to life, prohibition of torture, okay, prohibition of slavery and forced labor, right to liberty and security, going down, right to fair trial, keep going down. Aha! Here we are, Article 10, freedom of expression. So we are going to read this out, guys, okay, so we understand what it truly is. Everyone has the right to freedom of expression. This right shall include freedom to hold opinions and to receive and impart information and ideas without interference by public authority and regardless of frontiers. This article shall not prevent states from requiring the licensing of broadcasting, television, or cinema enterprises. Number 2, the exercise of these freedoms, since it carries with it duties and responsibilities, may be subject to such formalities, conditions, restrictions, or penalties as are prescribed by law and are necessary in a democratic society in the interest of national security, territorial integrity, or public safety, for the prevention of disorder or crime, for the protection of health or morals, for the protection of the reputation or rights of others, for preventing the disclosure of information received in confidence, or for maintaining the authority and impartiality of the judiciary. Okay, now we've read all this jargon. Basically, to sum it up, you have the freedom of expression, all right, the freedom of speech, but there might be consequences, all right? So now if you scroll up to here, it says restrictions to the right to freedom of expression. Let's check what these restrictions are. So off the top of my head, like most of us know, you have every right to freedom of speech and expression, so long as you don't incite violence, all right, and it does not promote hate. That I do know. So let's read this one out. Although you have freedom of expression, you also have a duty to behave responsibly and to respect other people's rights. Public authorities may restrict this right if they can show that their action is lawful, necessary, and proportionate in order to protect national security, territorial integrity, so the borders of the state, or public safety, prevent disorder or crime, okay, protect health or morals, protect the rights and reputations of other people, so no defamation, prevent the disclosure of information received in confidence, maintain the authority and impartiality of judges. An authority may be allowed to restrict your freedom of expression if, for example, you express views that encourage racial or religious hatred. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. However, the relevant public authority must show that the restriction is proportionate In other words, that it is appropriate and no more than necessary to address the issue concerned. So lately, a lot of people have been arrested for their Facebook posts and their X posts, so their posts on X, formerly called Twitter. And the allegations against them is that their comments were inciting hatred, and some of the comments were encouraging racial and religious hatred. All right, so we see the story of one of the Tories' wives, Tory councillor. So wife of councillor remanded over racial hate charge. But what did she say? Here she said it is alleged that on the 29th of July, the day of the Southport knife killings, she posted on X saying, "Mass deportations now, set fire to all the effing hotels, full of the bast. For all I care, if that makes me racist, so be it." I mean, the comment here, I would say it was extreme, all right? Saying, set fire. All right, so encouraging for it to be burned. Okay, she might have just said it out of anger. All right, based on what's been happening, she might have been emotional. Okay, but anyway, she was charged in court for that. Right. So basically, what the government is saying is you have the right to freedom of speech, right, the right to freedom of expression, but just ensure you do not encourage racial hatred, religious hatred, or inciting violence. But then there's a question that I have. So if someone commits a crime, right, do you have a right to say what faith they are? Do you have a right to say, okay, so this person, example, Mr. AB, who is of so and so faith, committed this crime, even if that is a fact, saying that, could that be a form of crime? Is it right or wrong, or is it a gray area? I know a lot of people have been stating the problems we have in this country. I mean, a lot of us know the problems we have in this country. We see it because we live here and we see these problems on a daily basis. We see the knife crime. That is so crazy. Like the knife crime in this country has become like the capital of knife crime. Today I checked an article that says knife crime has increased by 53%, a whooping 53%. Almost on a daily basis, there are cases of knife crime, cases of stabbings. Even today, there was a case of a stabbing in Leicester Square, which was crazy. All right, an 11-year-old was stabbed alongside her mother of 34. That is crazy. This is London. This is the reality, yeah, of life that we're living here now. And a lot of times, when the perpetrator is found and named, right, arrested and charged, more times than not, they find out that, okay, he is an immigrant, and sometimes they say, okay, he is an asylum seeker, and that tends to make people have a bad taste towards immigrants. Like the Southport stabbings, they said the perpetrator was found to be born in the UK, so basically he's British, but they said his parents were from Rwanda. On Mail Online, it says teenager 17 arrested over Southport stabbings was an introvert who never went out and lived with his hard-working, nice family. So, and if you scroll down here, it will say the 17-year-old was born in Cardiff after his family moved from the African nation, then moved north to Merseyside about 10 years ago. Okay, so basically there has been a lot of anger about the fact that the criminal was another immigrant. Again, people keep saying that it keeps recurring. Now remember, there are criminals from every race completely. But people have stated that one of the problems being faced here is the mass migration. All right, and if people keep saying that, it might be seen as maybe encouraging racial hatred. And if people keep mentioning the faiths, then it could come across as encouraging religious hatred as well. Okay, but people keep saying there is a trend. It keeps recurring, and people have hard facts to prove that, right? So for this to not be seen as hate, how can we approach this? All right, how can it be approached? I have an idea. So you know how scientists and nutritionists say you need a balanced diet for you to lead a healthy life. So basically, if you eat too much of carbohydrates, all right, you end up getting vitamin deficiencies, which is a potential health risk. Now, if you eat too much of carbohydrates, if you see here, so too much simple carbs can contribute to weight gain. 1, they can increase your risk of diabetes. 2, heart disease and high cholesterol. Okay, so it's important to have a balanced diet. Okay, and also just from a Google search, if you check too much risk of vitamins, you're gonna see nausea, dizziness, irritability, kidney stones, polyuria, bone pain, confusion, fatigue. You also get muscle weakness. All right. So basically, we need a balanced diet. Everything comes to balance. So I believe what the general population are saying, what everyone is trying to say is we need to balance immigration into the UK. It needs to be balanced because, like we said, too much of anything at all is not great because you need it to be balanced. You don't want the scale to tilt to one side. You want it to, you have to maintain a balance so everything works very well harmoniously. Okay. And it's also like bacteria. Bacteria are very, very dangerous, but there's some bacteria that we need in the body. The bacteria that we need, yeah, they have a balance. If there's too much of one type of bacteria, you end up falling ill. That's what some doctors tell you, to refrain from using some antiseptic soaps, from washing your, genitalia, because if you do so, it might kill one type of bacteria, the one class of bacteria. The other class of bacteria might multiply and become too much, and you might end up getting an infection because they need a balance. All right, there needs to be a balance. Basically, I believe what the people are saying is we need a balance. All right, we need a balance because the scale is tilting. It's tilting too much to the side. Like there is a problem, okay, and they want the problem to be tackled. That's basically what I keep hearing, right? And I believe that the reason why a lot of people went out to actually riot, right, is because they feel they're not being heard. They feel they're not being heard, so they took the law in their hands. Now, no one should take the law in their hands. All right, it is not right. Okay, we know that we are law abiding. All right, we have the British values. We shouldn't take the law in our hands, but understand that people were pushed to the wall and people went overboard. Some people find it hard to express themselves. They want to express themselves, but they are not either well cultured or have the training to control their emotions. They just blurt things out. They just say it as it is without thinking of consequences, and the law then clamps down on them. All right. Also, I think that the punishments might be a bit too harsh. Let me tell you why I'm saying that. Look at this. So here people ask, can you be arrested for Facebook comments? This covers sending a message that is grossly offensive or of an indecent, obscene, or menacing character, and can result in a maximum 6-month jail term or a fine. So here it says maximum 6-month jail term. But on here, where it says first jail terms handed down for social media posts during unrest, if you scroll down, you see a lot of people were getting quite a lot of long terms. Okay, this one, okay, they were a bit violent. Okay, he made a comment that was unbelievable. I didn't even know he was a politician, like a councillor. Here they said it is alleged that using a microphone, you address a crowd at an anti-fascist protest and talking about others you described as disgusting Nazi fascists. You said we need to cut their throats and get rid of them. I saw the video. I was like, So if you check social media posters starting to see jail sentences. So long sentences have been handed out today to people who encourage disorder on social media. Bradley Makin, 21 of Simonside Road, Springwell, Sunderland, who posted videos of himself roaring encouragement at rioters in Sunderland on his Instagram account, has been jailed for 2 years. Okay. Now, Tyler was jailed for 38 months after stirring up racial hatred by using social media to call for hotels housing asylum seekers to be set alight. Then here at Leeds Crown Court, Jordan Parler of Seacroft, Leeds, has been sentenced to 20 months in jail after publishing written material intended to stir racial hatred. Also, UK prosecutor says retweeting hate material could get you arrested. So not just making a comment, also retweeting, so showing you're in support of it can also get you arrested. So basically the question was, is freedom of speech and expression under attack? Basically they're saying control what you say, so long as you don't incite violence, you don't encourage racial hatred or religious hatred, then you're good to go. One more point I want to make before I go is the politicians. So the masses, the people, elect the politicians to represent them because politicians are meant to be the professionals. They're meant to be the ones to understand the people, all right, and fine-tune their message, fine-tune what they want to make it more democratic, to make it more diplomatic as well, okay, to make it kind of politically correct. Okay, so the people have been raising their voices, they have been voicing out their pains, they have been showing their anger. I think what the politicians, I might be wrong, guys, I'm not a professional, okay, but just thinking and being logical about this, I think yes, okay, I would say I agree. If there's violence, violence needs to be punished. Violence, the government needs to show that they're strong. Okay, they cannot show that they're weak. So maybe that 6 months jail term, that as they said there, as the maximum, should have sufficed, or maybe community service of 20 months or something, or paying fines. Okay, maybe that might have been a less harsh punishment. Okay, because online people are saying, oh, so they are releasing prisoners because the prisons are maxed out. But they said, make it make sense. How are you releasing like real criminals, like murderers, and then putting in people that protest? Okay, I mean, a lot of people that protested. I mean, I saw one of the asylum hotels being set alight, and it looked like there was someone inside, and I was like, oh my god, that's so painful. That is scary. That is really, really scary. Okay, but then two wrongs don't make a right. The British way is always a way where the British use the law. All right, they work out things within the confines of the law. So I think the politicians should have just listened to the people and be like, okay, you know what? We should not be seen as serving just one community. The whole of the UK is like one big family. Some adopted, some passing through, basically some visitors, and some are like indigenous. But the government's duty is to protect everyone, regardless of your race, of your religion, of your age, of whatever you are. Regardless, so long as you are here, all right, you are under the protection of the government. So I think the government just needs to have like a proper conversation. Maybe when everything dies down a little bit, there should be a proper conversation, and then try to allay the people's fears, because people are scared that there's too much of one thing. Like, we've lost balance. Basically, the British people are saying we have lost balance. Okay, you say diversity is our strength. That is fine, but make it balanced. Balance it out. Make it work. Okay, people are saying, look, we are being neglected. We don't want to be neglected. Okay, balance these things out. Okay, and I think, well, I actually have real trust in the government. I know they're gonna sort this out. It might take a long while, but usually we get impatient. We just want results right away, now. Anyway, guys, I've talked and rambled. I hope I made sense. If I didn't, guys, do let me know. Okay, also I'm open to corrections, guys. Okay, this is just my thoughts. Okay, these are my thoughts. I might not be a professional, but I try my best to be as diplomatic as possible, okay, and as balanced as possible. Basically, we need a balance in the country. That's it. I love you. Bye.
I love you more than words can say. You are me. Oh, you are the light that shine in my way. You are me. Oh, I love you more than words can say. You are me. Oh, you are the light that shine in my way.